Hey everybody, welcome to Ranting with Ricardo. We are here to talk about Sistas, a little recap review, some light, not too much. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell so you can be updated about all the great things going on over here on the channel. And don't forget to check the description box down below how to get information on how to follow me on different platforms, how to contact me if you want to make any suggestions, and so much more. And with that being said, let's get into it. So last week, I told y'all that on episode 13, Gary was in the back of Jordan's car threatening him. So we open up the new episode like that. He's still in the car threatening him, telling him to stay out of his business, to leave him alone. All Jordan want to all Jordan want to know is, where's Penelope? And like I told you, we don't give a damn about Penelope over here because Penelope was told to disappear. And what did Penelope do? She thought she knew better than Andy and Fatima and decided to carry her little pregnant self down there and start messing with Gary. And he pushed her on the ground. There was a lot of blood on the walls, blood on the floors, just everywhere. It was a horror scene. So he's like, where is Penelope? And Carrie is sitting up here trying to convince Jordan that Andy had something to do with Penelope's disappearance and that Andy is the cause of all of Gary's drama. And I'm just like, Gary, you are a scamming ass N-word. You scam. You are the cause of your own problems. You were married when you went to Andy to have her as your lawyer, and you were cheating on your wife with Andy. Andy had all her stuff snatched by the F, the B, and the I fooling with you. And you have been under the F, the B, and the I's watch this entire time because they're building a case against you. You are a demon. Okay? We rebuke you. Now, we're wondering at this moment, does Jordan, in his dumbass haircut, believe dumbass Gary? Okay, who likes to hug people too tight to where they almost hurt the people. Do we believe that Jordan believes what Gary says? Well, we get home the next morning. I like the fact that we actually get to see the next morning instead of them dragging it out. It'd be Tuesday. Like before there was a writer's room, it was Tuesday for like 7 episodes. It was Tuesday for like 7 episodes. So Jordan never came to bed. Andy comes down and he's just like, Heist, you okay? You all right? You didn't come to bed. Everything good? You slept down here? He wants to know why her and Penelope went after Gary without telling him. What exactly were you going to do? Let's ask that question. What exactly were you going to do? Gary got in the backseat of your car and you didn't work him like you should have worked him. Gary has been threatening you and sending people after you and tried to ruin your career. And you just let it happen, basically, and just said, we shall prevail. I have a dream. You didn't do nothing. Why would we bring you in on this when you seem to be real scary when it comes to scary Gary? Child, please. So he wondering, and I'm just like, so you really believe what Gary had to say? Okay, you dumber than I thought you were. Jordan, because we're sticking on Jordan. Jordan asked his new employee to help plant something on Gary to find, the information about Gary's right hand man, the one who, when Gary say, "Give me a new laptop," he gonna get a new laptop. Who's helping him scam these people and steal identities? That Hudson. Jordan notices that it's just like, something ain't right with you. Something ain't right with you. I don't know what's going on, but something ain't right with you. A little skittish. What is going on? So Rich and Tony, I don't like either one of them. Like, we could have kept Calvin and Preston if we was gonna have to deal with this BS. But I truly do miss Preston. Bring him back, okay? Petition to bring Preston back and Robin. Preston and Robin, bring them back. Rich and Tony are talking about, their relationship woes. And at the end of the day, Tony, you have relationship woes because at some point in time, we're going to figure out that you were still very much married and you've been trying to use Danny as a babysitter. Danny is not a maternal woman. I don't think Danny wants children. And if she does, she don't want no big grown children who are very disrespectful, because your kids are disrespectful. And Rich, you still messing around with Sabrina, and Sabrina already told you she getting her eggs frozen. But okay. Gary has had Jordan's assistant try to plant bugs in Jordan's house, but Jordan comes home and finds the assistant doing so. So how is the assistant gonna get out of this? We don't know. Now down to Sabrina. She at the bank. Her and Maurice are talking about the ball spot Becky situation. While they're talking about this, we get on the subject of her freezing her eggs and taking the hormone shots and all of that, and mothering, and who's going to be her sperm donor. Now, Sabrina's on these hormone shots. Even though they're using condoms, her and Rich have been going at it back, forth, round around, up on ceilings, up on walls, beds, cars, tables, floors, refrigerators. Sabrina know about them refrigerators, islands. Just be doing it, okay? Just be doing it everywhere. Baby, they didn't did it everywhere. So by the time Sabrina want to get it in the shower, Rich is panicking, trying to find a condom. He can't find the condom. And I'm just like, okay, you doing all this. Don't nobody want to trap you, Mr. Green Juice. You told her you didn't want no baby. Fine. She decided she's going to freeze her eggs because she's not getting no younger. Fine. But you're the one who keep having sex with this lady, knowing that she's about to freeze her eggs and her hormones is raging. It seems like a personal problem to me at this point. That's what it seems to me. I don't know what it seems like to y'all, but that's what it seems like to me. Karen down at her salon. Pam wants to know if she's okay with Aaron investing in her business. Aaron arrives. He is bringing gifts for the babies. At the end of the day, Pam, you found an investor. It does not matter who it is. It really does not matter to Karen, because Karen wasn't going to help you. Karen don't want you doing business out of her salon. Karen don't even fucking like you. So if you found an investor for your business, that is amazing. Quit asking her if she's okay with it, because she would never ask you if you okay with the things she does. She didn't ask you if you were okay with her using you to replace her friends or to try to use you to go at Fatima, because at the end of the day, when Fatima says she not going to get her because she's pregnant, but she can't get you, Karen set you up for that. Anyway, Aaron in his stalkerish ways, Mr. Nice Guy, comes bearing gifts for the babies. And they're talking in private, and Pam does what Pam always does. She's eavesdropping, and she overhears the fact that Aaron is the father of one of the babies. Not both, one. So Karen decides to call Sabrina to find out how she's doing with the fertility treatments. I'm like, oh, look at you being a friend, but in reality, it's just like, you ain't that girlfriend. And while on the phone, Sabrina decides to open that big ass mouth of hers that she can never close, and tells her she knows about her having two baby daddies. And she knows that Danny is the one who told her, even though she told Danny not to tell nobody. And technically speaking, Danny didn't tell anybody. Sabrina guessed. They were playing charades. She guessed. Be okay with that. Be fine with that. So we get on to Danny. Tony shows up at Danny's, kiosk down to the airport, trying to talk and make up with her, and he apologizes for losing his composure. But the apology don't really hit like that, because he takes another jab at her for not being responsible with his children at her apartment. And it's just like, your children wouldn't have been at her apartment had you gotten adequate child care and not trying to pawn them off on the lady that you are having raw butt naked sex with. It seemed like a personal problem to me. Seems like you need to handle your own children. Seems like you need to raise your own children. Because at the end of the day, you and Danny just started dating. Like, y'all not that close like that yet for you to be asking her to watch your children. And now you constantly want to throw jabs at her because she's not your ex-wife? Or wait, your wife? Because that lady said in the preview that she was your wife. But we move on. So Danny ends up talking to her therapist, and the therapist encourages her to listen to Tony's apology. And while she's talking to her therapist, which shout out to Danny for being in therapy, Karen decides to come banging on the door to confront Danny about telling Sabrina about the babies. Because remember, it's two of them with an S. And Danny's like, I don't see the issue. You and Sabrina are close friends. I thought you would want Sabrina to know about, your situation. And Karen wants her to stay out of her business. But I'm like, you never stay out of anybody's business. And really, you only want Danny around when you need somebody to do your dirty work or you want information on Zach. That's legit how this goes. You are still mad at Danny because she's been for staying friends with Zach. At the end of the day, Danny and Zach knew each other before y'all knew each other. And she introduced you to Zach. So there's that. And let's not forget, you the one who's been talking big-ish to everybody about Danny. You the one who's been talking big-ish to people about Danny. And you want Danny to be, what, your secret keeper when you just cussed her out about being friends with Fatima? At the end of the day, you're only mad that Sabrina knows because you wanted the situation to be this. You didn't want anyone to know that the twins had separate fathers because you wanted everyone to think that Zach was the father of both babies. And when Zach wouldn't take care of the other baby, you would need a reason to go at him or have people talk badly to him. But see, that wouldn't have worked. That Andy would have clocked you on it because Fatima told Andy. And you're not about to go with Fatima. At the end of the day, you are the woman that you look down on. Karen has become one of the girls that she has always looked down upon and frowned upon. The girls who you having money issues, don't have enough money, not really using your degree, has multiple baby daddies. That's you. But you was looking down on everybody else for that. And it's just like, ultimately, you are the catalyst to your own problems. And I don't want to hear nothing from Karen ever. I don't want to hear nothing from Karen no more because you got a man who's trying to help you and be there for you. You don't want him. But the man who don't want you and just wants to help take care of the child that y'all created together, oh, you keep running after him and try to throw monkey wrenches in his relationship. I'm sick of her. She, at the end, by the time we get close to the end of the episode, she invites Sabrina and Pam to the salon to ask them to plan her baby shower. Now, mind you, Pam's not a part of the sister circle, but any other time it would have been Andy, Sabrina, and Danny planning this baby shower. At the end of the day, Karen is isolating herself only for her to turn around and play victim like everybody has abandoned her, and I can't deal with it. It's too much gaslighting for me. Down at the law office, Andy's telling Fatima she's ready to go after Gary, and Fatima learns she got a D on her first law school exam. And Hayden is just enjoying the misery that Andy and Fatima is going through. And I'm just like, can you go, please? I can't wait for you to find out that Gary is knocking Tamara's walls loose and down. That he is doing your wife in your bed. I can't wait. So we get down to Zatima's house, and Fatima tells Zach, she got a D on her first law school test, and she hasn't gotten a chance to study because she's taking care of Michael. And Fatima almost lost her mind because Michael has decided to color all over her $5,000 bag. So to get some steam, and I'm just like, Zach, you got to be there for her more. You said you would. You got to actually show up. You really do have to show up. You said you would see her through all of this. Then you need to show up for her. Because if you don't, y'all gonna grow farther apart. So to let off some steam, Fatima meets with her best friend, Angela, down to the restaurant to vent about her stepmother woes. Angela's like, listen, take care of yourself, get a nanny. And I'm like, and don't get one that's gonna be trying to sleep with Zach, because that's a whole other thing. But I do suggest getting a nanny. Or someone who, when you need to study, will be there to take care of the kid. I do believe you need to help. If Zach ain't gonna help you, then you need to get somebody who will. Boom. Solutions. on to Hayden, Tamara, and Gary. Hayden calls Tamara to check on her, and she's like, "Oh, I have a visitor." And while she's on the phone with Hayden, Gary is telling her to wrap it up. Like, wrap this ish up so we can have sex. Hayden hears, I don't think he hears the entire thing, but he hears somebody, and he's wondering who is the visitor. So the next morning, Tamara calls Gary, to be like, good morning. And it's just like, girl, this ain't that type of party. And he cuts her off and calls her a hoe, reminds her there ain't no feelings between them, and that they just having sex. And she's recording the calls and tells him that one edit of this whole recording can ruin his life. And it's just like, please tell me Gary has met his match. Please tell me he has met his match. So when Hayden come home, he's smelling some cologne. It's like a certain cologne, and she tries to pass it off as her perfume, but he has smelled this cologne before. So this is about to get real messy. And Tamara offers him something to eat, but he wants something else to eat. Okay, he trying to eat her up like a little Debbie cake. And as they starting to get into it, she trying to hide her phone. But he notices this, but she ends up distracting him. And at the end of the day, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for this to blow up in Gary's face. I can't wait. I want to see what Hayden does. At the end of the day, Karen and Danny have never been real friends. Karen only really uses Danny when she needs her and when it benefits her. And whatever Danny needs help, Karen is never there for her. It's giving, I'm going to use you for what I want. If you try to be friends with me, girl, I'm going to have to remind you we're not friends. Andy, you brought this on yourself. We told you since season 1 that man was crazy. He was using you and he was going to cause you nothing but pain. But do you listen to us? No. So go ahead, Miss Girl, with your eye rolls and your new hairdo and your clothes and do what you got to do. Hopefully you don't go down for the unaliving of Penelope. Hopefully. Hope that's not your ministry, girl. So, for Karen, you wanted Zach to take care of his babies. And you want to tell the whole world, you want to tell the whole wide world that the babies were Zach's. Both babies were Zach's. But now that we find out that you have 2 different baby daddies, due to us having a DNA test that should have been pushed for anyway by you, so you could clear everything up, so you could be proven right, now you want to wait. Now you want to wait it out. You don't want to tell nobody. And I'm just going to say this. You bought into Pam's whole thing of Zach has money. If Zach is the father of both babies, you would be getting a nice chunk of change from him. And now you want to keep that going, but that's not going to happen. I think what we're going to see is Zach and Aaron becoming friends and raising their babies together and completely just like not having anything to do with Karen other than, we got to go pick the kids up from her. Other than that, I think we're about to see them just say F Karen for the rest of their lives. Tamara's nasty because you had sex with Gary and Hayden and then changed them clothes. Nasty. I hope for Fatima, because I don't want her and Zach to break up. I hope for Fatima, this is just a wake up call of y'all need to get some more help around that house. So you don't have to continue to not study and not take care of what you need to take care of. And pawn Andy and her bullish off on somebody else. Like, get you a nanny, get you a housekeeper, somebody to come help around the house. That way, Zach can do what he needs to do. You can do what you need to do. And y'all can spend the quality time y'all want with Michael, but without sacrificing, your school and your work and his work as well. And giving Michael the time and attention he needs. Sabrina, you have a big mouth. I hope that man thinks you're trying to trap him. Danny, shout out to you in therapy. And Tony, go F yourself. And with that being said, that was it. That was all I don't have more to give y'all. You can find everything in the description box down below. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell. And I will see y'all later for the next one. Bye.